Ever feel like you're absolutely binning it at life just because you can't pick one lane? You look at your mates and they've got it all sussed out. One's a coder, one's a nurse, one's a designer. They have their thing. Meanwhile, you're sitting there, 30 open tabs, a half-finished crochet project, a dusty PDF on crypto trading, and a sudden burning desire to learn Japanese at 2 a.m. You feel flaky, you feel messy. You feel like a jack of all trades, master of none, while the world leaves you in the dust. But what if I told you that being a generalist isn't a bug in your system? It's actually your biggest competitive advantage in this 2026 chaos. You aren't lost, and you're definitely not lazy. You're actually M-shaped. And once you clock what that actually means, your entire career crisis is going to vanish into thin air. The system loves to gaslight us. It wants us to be I-shaped. That's the person who picks one niche at 18 and grinds it out until they're ancient. Sounds safe, right? Wrong. In reality, being I-shaped is high-key risky. If your one industry gets disrupted by AI or the market shifts, you're stuck. You're redundant. Proper dead-end vibes. Then there's the T-shaped person. You've probably heard of this. It's someone who knows a bit of everything but has one deep specialty. That's better, but in the modern world, it's still a bit mid. It doesn't quite capture the complexity of a creative brain. But you're built different. You have multiple peaks of deep knowledge connected by a bridge of diverse interests. That's the M shape. Imagine the letter M. It has 2 or 3 distinct peaks. You aren't just a writer. You're a writer who understands psychology and data analytics. You aren't just a gamer. You're a pro who understands community management and video editing. These random hobbies are actually building a unique skill stack that nobody can replicate. It's your secret sauce. It's how you become unreplaceable. But here's the catch, and you need to listen closely. There is a razor-thin line between being a genius M-shaped creator and just being a chronic procrastinator who's full of rubbish. Let's be real for a second. Why do we keep jumping from one thing to another? It's usually because of the honeymoon phase. You know the feeling, you start something new, let's say photography. For the first 2 weeks, it's mega. You're learning the buttons, you're taking snaps of your cat, you feel like a pro. But then, you hit the dip. The dip is that period where the initial excitement wears off and the actual work begins. This is where most multi-passionate people quit. They think they've lost interest, but really, they're just avoiding the struggle. To be M-shaped, you have to earn your peaks. You can't just have a bunch of shallow valleys. You need at least 2 areas where you've actually done the hard yards. So how do we actually build this without losing our minds? This is where the rule of 2 comes in. If you try to juggle 10 interests, you'll do a rubbish job at all of them. You'll be mediocre at 10 things instead of legendary at 2. For the next 90 days, I want you to pick only 2 peaks. Just 2. Think of these as your primary grinds. Everything else on your list, the Japanese, the crochet, the crypto, it doesn't go away. It just moves to the low-pressure category. You do them for the vibes, you do them for fun, but you don't expect progress. By focusing your energy on just 2 peaks, you actually start to see the compound effect. You start to see how these 2 skills talk to each other. This is called skill stacking. Think of it like a video game. If you put all your points into strength, you're just a tank. If you put all your points into magic, you're just a mage. But if you put points into both, you're a battle mage. You've created a category of 1. Look at the most successful people today. They aren't just good at one thing. They are M-shaped. Look at someone like Elon Musk. He isn't just a rocket guy. He's a physics guy, a coding guy, and a manufacturing guy. When those skills collide, that's where the billions are made. When your skills collide, that's where your freedom is found. But I know what you're thinking. What if I pick the wrong 2? Here is the secret. It almost doesn't matter what you pick because the skill of learning is transferable. If you spend 90 days becoming a peak-level video editor, you haven't just learned how to cut clips. You've learned discipline. You've learned storytelling. You've learned how to handle technical frustration. When you decide to move on to your next peak, you take all that meta-knowledge with you. You'll learn the next thing 5 times faster. This is why M-shaped people eventually become unstoppable. They have a library of how to learn stored in their brain. Now, let's talk about the haters. Your parents might tell you to get a real job. Your mates might joke that you change hobbies every week. It's hard not to feel like a failure when everyone else is staying in their lane. But you have to realize they are playing a different game. They're playing the safety game. You are playing the innovation game. The world is changing too fast to stay in one lane. In 5 years, half the jobs we see today will be done by machines. The only people who will survive are the ones who can bridge the gap between different worlds. You aren't lost. You are an explorer. You're gathering data. You're building a toolkit that is so specific, so unique, that no AI could ever copy it. So, here's your mission for tonight. And I mean tonight. Don't put this off. Stop the endless scrolling. Put the phone down after this video. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to write down every single thing you've been interested in over the last year. Don't filter it. If you wanted to learn how to bake sourdough, put it down. If you wanted to start a YouTube channel about ants, put it down. Now, look at that list. Circle the 2 that actually make your heart beat a bit faster. Not the ones that look posh on a CV, not the ones your dad wants you to do, the ones that make you lose track of time. For the next week, give those 2 your golden hours. That's the first 2 hours of your day, or the hour right after work when you still have a bit of spark left. Give them your best energy. Let everything else on that list just breathe. You're not falling behind. You're just building a bigger, more legendary life than the people who only know how to do one thing. You are an architect of your own multidimensional career. The world doesn't need more robots. It doesn't need more people who are bored out of their minds in one lane. It needs people who can connect the dots. It needs people who are brave enough to be weird. Let's level up together. Try this tonight, and I promise you, you're going to feel a massive weight lift off your shoulders. You're not messy. You're just getting started. Stay curious. Stay M-shaped. I'll see you in the next one.